All right, joined now by Ed Bergen, the general manager, I think, here is your term with the Greenhills Golf Resort in Greenwater Provincial Park. I guess first of all, I know you've been here for 9 years, but can you give us a little bit of history of kind of how this golf course all kind of came together and I guess to where we are today?
Okay, yeah, the golf course is about 65 years old right now. Sand greens, originally 9 holes, all behind us. The golf course as it sits today was purchased by a group of investors in, I believe, 95 or 96, with the dream of turning it into an 18-hole golf course. So at that point in time, we built the new 9, the holes 1 to 9 out front, and that opened in I believe 2000. And in we played both sides for a year, the old side and the new side. And then after the first year, with a bit of maturity, we shut down the back 9. Pretty much totally redesigned it. And then in mid 2002, I think, the whole course reopened kind of like it is today.
Yeah, it's beautiful for sure. You don't have to go into great detail, but I know you played a lot, and obviously you've been here almost a decade, as I mentioned. You kind of just quickly just walk us through the 18 holes?
Oh dear. Well, I'll walk you through from probably the blue tees. That's what way too many of the players want to play from, despite the fact that they should probably move up to the whites. But yeah, your first hole is a straightaway tee-off shot, 235 yards out, sets you up perfectly for a big downhill shot into the green. It's probably going to be a 170 yard shot into the green. Big green, and it's a tough opening hole. Number 2 is straight away about 400 yards with an alfalfa field on your right hand side that if you get in there you lose your ball. 3 is just about 185 or 190 yard shot from the blues over water. The green is well protected with bunkers around it. Number 4, another dog leg. This one's a dog leg right. 240, 250 off the tee sets you up for a 150 yard approach shot in. A small bunker that you can't see in front of the green that eats a lot of golf balls. Number 5, 206 yards, I believe, from the blues. It's a long, narrow green, tough to hit. Then you get into our first par 5 on the front, number 6. Probably want to be 220 to 240 off the tee. A slight dog leg right, and then from there you've got a, if you want to get there in 2, you got to hit an awful solid 3 wood or play it smart and get down there in 3 for a birdie putt. Number 7 is probably the hole we hear the most comments about. It's I think it's a 510 yard hole from the back tees, and I always tell people to play down the middle and hit 170, 170, 170 and make your birdie putt. But we see an awful lot of 10s on scorecards there, despite the fact that if you hit a driver or something, you're going to score big numbers. Number 8, pretty much a straight 420 yard par 4. Pretty big ravine runs through the middle, which most golfers are going to hit over that and have 140, 130 yards in uphill. Number 9, downhill off the tee to a fairly narrow landing area with bush on both sides, and a nice tee shot's going to leave you 150 uphill all the way. Got to play an extra club there. Then you're back at the clubhouse and move to the other side. Number 10 is about a 400 yard par 4. A little bit narrow if you're spraying the ball, it's going to catch up to you, but a reasonable par 4. Number 11 is about 185 yards. It's par 3 to a really nice green with a lot of break if you're on the wrong side of it. But we probably see more hole-in-ones on that hole than any of the other holes. Number 12 is our first par 5 on the back. It's if you're a big hitter and you can hit the right shot, you're good, but it's a pretty easy hole to drive through the fairway if you're a little bit left. And I say it's the perfect shot for the guy that can shape his shots, hit a fade for a right-hander off the tee, and you'd be in the middle of the fairway, and then hit a draw on your second shot if you're the golfer that can do that. But it's a solid par 5 as well. It stretches out, it's right around 500 yards. Number 13 is another par 5. The perfect shot there from the blue tees is about, you want to aim right at the left-hand bunker, and if you clear that bunker, it's about 235 yards in the air to clear it, and that'll set you up for a shot that you have to decide if you're going to lay up or if you're going to go for it. You got to go through a pretty narrow neck, but it's probably the easiest par 5 on the course if you play it right. Then we get to number 14 is another par 3, slightly uphill all the way. It's pretty much like every other hole. It's totally surrounded by bush, so if you're not playing a straight ball, you're in big trouble. It probably plays 195, I think, from the blues, so it's a tough par 3. Number 15 is I would say the toughest hole on the course. It's fairly narrow, downhill, with heavy bush on each side. Once you're down at the bottom, you've got a 150-yard shot into the green, which is uphill all the way. Easy to see the flag, but you can never see the exact pin placement because the green is raised enough. Number 16 is our signature hole. Play your 200-yard club probably. Downhill a long ways, over a pond into a landing area. Then you got a river or a creek crossing that, which once you cross that creek, it parallels the right-hand side all the way up to the green. It's a very makeable birdie hole, and it's also a very makeable 10 hole. 17 is uphill all the way, a fairly short par 4, just a little over 300 yards, 340 yards probably, but uphill all the way, and lots of trouble on both sides. 18 coming home, it's about I don't think it's that big long a hole. It's probably only about 390. If you've got some guts left at that time or you don't care anymore, you can try and carry the bush on the left-hand side and the water, but you got to be probably 240 in the air. So a lot of people try it, not many people make it. The smart play is 200 yards down the middle and 150 yards into another green that you can never see where the pin is except for the flagstick. And if you're sitting up on the clubhouse deck, anybody that's above the hole is going to be 8 or 10 feet by, and anybody below the hole is probably going to leave it short. It's a really deceiving putt on that hole. And par 36 on both sides, and pretty rare that we see somebody come in with a pair of 36s.
Yeah, no, it's again and it's a resort course, of course. So yeah, I do have a few members that would get around it a lot, but you get a lot of families and a lot of people that haven't played it before. So what is their reactions when they when they come by the clubhouse on their way out? What do they think, and what's the main thing coming back from them? It's beauty, number one.
Beauty's number one, absolutely. We do have the odd golfer that says it's just too tough to play. They lose too many balls. But that's just a matter of club selection. If I go around the golf course and I'm playing with a good player that's a real low handicapper, he might hit his driver 3 times on this golf course. he's going to hit lots of 5-irons off the tee and have a little longer shots in. Or the secret here is keep it in play. You don't have to hit the ball long, you have to keep it in play.
Yeah, for sure. And you have all the amenities too. I mean, we're sitting right now on the deck with an incredible view, and your clubhouse, even though despite COVID, you guys have every amenity here that a golfer needs.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't have a big kitchen, which for me is not a very big important part of golf, other than men's, ladies' nights and tournaments. And this year, obviously, that's not happening a whole lot. But yeah, there's pretty much everything here for the novice golfer or the incredibly serious golfer. We see some of the best golfers in the province come out here, and they love it because they say if they come here and they don't have their A game, their score reflects it in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, again, privately owned, but still working in conjunction with the park. And I mean, the park is a beautiful thing too, and there's, again, everything to do for a Saskatchewan family this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you live here, you're proud of it, for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I take a lot of pride in the golf course. That it's such a beautiful place that nothing frustrates me more than seeing tracks through our natural areas or things like that, because the beauty here is, it just can't be beat.
Anything else you just want to mention about, Greenhills Golf Resort?
Just the fact that it's not very heavily used. You can always get a tee time. Most of the holes, once from the time you leave the clubhouse till the time you're done your round of golf, you're probably not going to see another person. You might see an elk, you might see some deer. If you're really lucky, you'll get to see bears, but that's pretty rare.
And don't feed them.
And don't feed them. That's right.
Thanks for welcoming Golf Saskatchewan here this weekend. It's been fantastic.
Hey, it's been great to have you guys out. I'm sure everybody that's taken lessons has truly appreciated it, and I hope they improve their game a little bit because of it.